So, been a little while since I posted. I guess that's probably not that important, and I'll probably cut this bit out. But I wanted to make a video today talking about the negative impact that influences masculinity, stop being a pussy, has had on me. But I don't want to belittle anyone or make anyone feel bad for following a certain type of person on Instagram or anything like that, because ultimately those things did help me, but there is a dark side to this world that we sort of find ourselves in of self-improvement, and we're told be more vulnerable, but at the same time, if you open up, we're not going to like you, and creates this very weird dichotomy that is very isolating, and for me personally, I think is stupid. So my mission to civilize is to be as open and vulnerable as possible, because I've been blessed with an apathy for I don't really care that much about what people think about me. Obviously, I want people to think that I'm a nice person, but the rest of it doesn't really matter to me. So instead of shitting on the tough guys and shitting on the influencers, I've decided I'm actually just going to tell you what I've been struggling with. So, surprising to me, 350 of you subscribe to my channel. Again, could not be more grateful. Thank you so much. And a few thousand people have watched my videos. And I started thinking about why do I watch YouTube videos? Why would anyone watch my videos? And what do we all want out of it? It's because I see someone that is living a life that potentially I would want, and maybe there is people that watch these videos that see me and what I'm doing right now and think I would like that. I want to be very clear. Yeah, my life is great. Awesome childhood. Lived on the beach. Live in Germany. Nice apartment. I make enough money and I have good relationships in my life. Yet, I am very sad a lot of the time. Not in a depressive end of the world, even though I did go through something, as you all saw on my YouTube channel a few months ago. But there is a level of sadness and disappointment with my life, even though on the outside it looks great. And the reason that I wanted to talk about and expose the influences that we all see, because I believe that everybody has this. I believe that is an inescapable fact of human existence, that we always want what we can't have, and we set expectations and our reality does not meet that, and we will have a level of sadness that follows us through life. And a bunch of tough guys telling you to man up or shit on women or go make 10K a month, whatever it is, it's ultimately not getting to the source of the problem, which is on the inside, very, very deep down, in a place that no one else really wants to talk about. You have this feeling of disappointment, of shame, guilt, whatever it is. For me, it's disappointment. So ever since I was a little boy, I wanted to be a professional athlete. I didn't want anything else in my life. It's all I cared about. And frankly, a part of me still only cares about that. And the last month, it's been rough. The last couple months have been even more rough. But I'm still here. I'm still chugging along, still with Imperium. I'm still doing everything that on the outside looks like I'm doing well. But shit, have I not felt. I've felt more like a failure over the last 6 months of my life, while doing the most exciting and interesting things I'll ever probably do. It's definitely going to be up there. Hopefully my life, continues to progress. But up to this point, the things that I've done over the last 6 months have been mind-blowing. Yet I still hold this deep disappointment that I didn't achieve what I really wanted to as a child. Now, there is a side of it that is me saying that if I fully close that door, that I am quitting or that I'm a failure or whatever it is. And sometimes it hinders me from fully diving into my next endeavor and the rest of my life. I really do think up until this point that I've put off of starting my life because I was chasing this feeling that I'd had in my younger years of accomplishment and being part of a team and essentially doing what I love. Now, I'm trying to make myself realize that holding this shame and disappointment is okay. It is okay to feel like this, right? But it's not okay to let it seep into the rest of my life. By me closing the door and officially, accepting the fact that I'm not going to do the things that I wanted to as a child, doesn't mean that the doors close forever. It actually means that I open up other doors which may be more exciting and beautiful than that one that I've closed ever could be. And no amount of hustling, no amount of shutting down, no amount of masculinity would ever help me get over that disappointment. The only thing that will is understanding myself and grounding myself in reality, that this is my life, and everything that has happened up until this point, there was no other alternative for this. This is the cards and the hand that I was dealt. It may not have lived up to my expectations, but what are those expectations anyway? They are irrelevant. They're a fantasy, a world that never existed. What I have is right now. So what I have been doing over the last couple of weeks, which has really, really helped me, is I'm just got back to the basics. I think intuitively we all know what makes us feel good and what makes us feel bad. For me, it's, getting up at a consistent time, eating the same foods consistently, not binging and eating badly, but also having a little bit of balance and allowing myself to enjoy the finer things of me being in Berlin. Going for a morning walk. This one's massive. I've started running again, even though I was never a runner. Challenge myself physically, even though it's not the thing that is ultimately my profession. It doesn't mean that I'm still not the type of person who can consider themselves an athlete. Even if I'm not, posting it on Instagram or playing on national television, I can still be an athlete in my eyes, because at the end of the day, the eyes you see yourself through are the only ones that really matter. Meaningful relationships. Now, this one's been a big one for me in the last couple of weeks. I was extremely isolated when I moved here. I am extremely isolated. I didn't know anyone. And my home is 24 hours away by airplane and a few $1,000s. So trying to make meaningful connections with people has been a big one. Now, obviously I have the team that I work for, but they're not in the same country. So finding a person that I care about has helped me a lot. I'm not going to go into too many details about that, but it is important to give yourself the opportunity. I know monk mode. I know about monk mode. I've done monk mode. I've done all of that, okay? But there is also the realization that I am living my life, right? The monk mode and all the things that you do, it's always for this expectation that you have of the potential future, whereas in that moment right now, you are missing out on everything. Now, I know Alex always talks about seasons of no and everything like that. The harsh reality is we're not all Alex. The harsh reality for me was I'm not a Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen of the world, a professional athlete. So I shouldn't hold myself to those unrealistic expectations of living like that. Like, I am a normal person, and that is okay. That's the important thing. But it has to be okay with you. So whether you're, struggling financially, or you don't have a lot of friends, or you feel like you're never going to get into a relationship, you have to go back to the basics and come from the inside out. Otherwise, it's never going to work. I am a firm believer that, over the last few months, that I was actually attracting these opportunities, even though I was in so much pain. My inward energy was still one of expansion. I was going to put myself in the most difficult positions possible to get wherever it took me, but I needed to go somewhere. I couldn't stay where I was. So with pain comes expansion. You can be sad and you can be struggling while also pursuing more. Sometimes those things go hand in hand. And everything that you've done up until this point is not a waste, okay? Unless you were sitting around smoking weed, playing video games all day. That's a whole nother story. But I imagine that the people that watch these videos are at least taking some actions to make themselves better people. Journaling. Talk to yourself. I know this sounds crazy, but journaling, I use journaling as genuinely a way to talk to myself every day. Every morning, I talk to myself about how I'm feeling, what the day's going to look like, why I'm sad today and why I felt better yesterday. All these little things, it just helps open you up to understanding who you are and why you're not the person that maybe you wanted to. And I've sort of boiled it down to, rather than identifying myself by the thing that I do, sales, sports, whatever it is, I should identify myself as a character trait. So I want to identify myself as a high achiever. Now, I look back on my life and this is maybe imposter syndrome and me being too hard on myself, but maybe I have never really been a high achiever. I mean, that's probably not true because I have done some cool stuff, but in my eyes, I'm not a high achiever yet because I will never live up to the standard I set for myself as a high achiever. And that's good because I will continue to push myself to get there, but there needs to be perspective and nuance that, you can't just isolate yourself from the world forever. The last 4 years of my life, nearly 5, sober, competing, training, lost a lot of friends, no girlfriends. That's 4 years of my life in my 20s. Now, I would never change that for the world because I got so much out of that and the type of person that I am now today. But why do all of that work and not use and reap the rewards of that work? For me, this time is a period of expansion, like I said. Moving to Germany, getting this exciting job, trying to find meaningful relationships, being the type of person that would attract, I hate this word, but a high value individual. Oh, it's so corny. Anyway, it kind of is real though. Like you want to, be the type of person that can attract someone. Biggest fear of mine is never finding the right person to spend the rest of my life with because I wasn't good enough for them. That's an irrational fear, but that's something that drives me and that's something that I'm going to have to work with because I never really lived up to my expectations. So then I have put myself in a hamstrung position because I feel like I'll never live up to the expectations of others, right? But I only know that about myself because of the last 5 years. So I guess what I'm sort of getting at is you got to start with the basics. If you want to make $10,000 a month, if you want to make $1 million a month, if you want to make $10 a month, you have to start with the basics. You have to understand yourself. You have to be able to be vulnerable, but tough. Like there is a time and place to be tough. I mean, the last 6 months, I probably wasn't as tough as I should have been, although I'm still here, right? The fact that you just don't give up and actually get to that point is, I think, good enough, right? Perfect is the enemy of progress, is I guess what they say. So reap the rewards. Reap the rewards of the things that you've done. If you're 21 years old and you've just spent the last 3 years smoking weed, like I sort of did, except I was 20. Yeah, all right, fine. Take a year. Don't see anyone. But if you're at the end of, 4 years of grinding and you're starting to see a little bit of traction, maybe now is time for expansion. If things are starting to go good, yes, you want to double down on what you're doing, but opportunity, expansion, growth, all of this comes from experiences. You have to take risks. Okay, this is the antithesis of basically what I want to say. Now, I apologize for dragging on with this video, but if I looked at the type of person I was at 20 and the type of person I was at the start of this year before I moved to Germany, I thought I was completely different. It was literally night and day. And I thought the person that I'd grown into was capable of doing anything. Like I had lots going for me. I felt really good about myself, but I was in a bubble. There was no expansion. There was no growth other than the growth of me understanding who I am as an individual. And then I took a risk and I moved halfway around the world with my agency. That is the test. You must test yourself. You must test yourself with the things that you had done. shit, you might need to test yourself right now. If you're in a rut, if you haven't gone to the gym in a year, if you watch porn every day, if you eat like shit, if you have no friends, no amount of fucking monk mode is going to drag you out of that. You have to test yourself with something difficult, because it's like progressive overload. Your body responds to stress. You have to find yourself a situation of stress to grow. So, 4 years, I thought I was in a good position, and I moved here and I realized how inequipped I was with the tactical skills to handle everything that came and stood in my way. But the thing that got me through was the understanding and the groundwork that I had done. The catalyst for all of the groundwork that I had done was also a test. I want that to be clear. There was a big moment that changed my life at 20, and then there was another big moment that changed my life at 24, just 6 months ago. Now my life is on a trajectory that I could not have even imagined, and it's awesome. But it's okay that I'm still sad and disappointed in the fact that it wasn't maybe what I had envisioned for myself. So, I don't know if there's much to get out of this, but I think that what I'm getting at is you just have to start taking some risks. Like, you can't train all the time. You can't just always be practicing, because there's something that people don't say, the influencers don't tell you. They give you the tips for monk mode and all the shit to do, but all of that isolation isn't going to help you unless you actually test yourself in the real world. You're not going to make $10,000 a month or $100,000 a month by sitting in your room reading 10 books. I mean, I've been there. I've literally done that. And I still was so unprepared for what real life actually is. It's hectic. There's so much going on. Like, it's very, very rewarding, and it feels good to feel like a full developed human that actually has responsibilities and has like bills and like real life things. Because I genuinely don't think I felt like that until I did this. But you have to take a risk. So get back to the basics, journal, walk, think, and then take a risk. Do something big. Invest in a program. Call a business. I don't know, whatever. Start going to the gym. It's simple. Just take a fucking risk. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully I can start posting more regularly again. Although I say that every single time, and then it gets really hectic and I learn a lesson and I make a video. So maybe that's going to be how this goes for a while. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. I love you all. And I think we're going to be okay.